Muy buenas noches. Les damos la más cordial bienvenida a esta nueva edición de Genie in a Bottle o El Genio en la Botella. Ahora en nuestro horario nocturno. Estamos estrenando este horario que fue recomendación de muchos de ustedes que nos escriben y nos sugieren temas, nos dan sus opiniones, a veces son buenas, a veces no son tan buenas, pero todas son realmente bienvenidas. Este es un esfuerzo y de academia de llevar a ustedes odontología, noticias, debates, actualidades.
We have the new ideas of dentistry from Mexico, but from all over the world too. And in this new schedule that we will be sharing on Tuesdays with you, we'll have a typical schedule. Every program that will be in Spanish, one yes and no. We're going to have this schedule of 9 o'clock at night, Mexico City's time, Central Time, and those which are in English, like next week's, will be held in an earlier schedule, 2 hours earlier than tonight. On TV, we can't do this, but since we're living in a virtual world, this can be possible. This is a great honor to be with you tonight. I don't know if it's time to ask you to prepare yourselves a coffee and enjoy it, but you can maybe drink a whiskey or tequila or a margarita and listen an important topic that will be held today. Let's watch a video and I'll explain you what's all about.
Estos son momentos muy difíciles para todos. La pandemia ha generado un impacto enorme en la sociedad. Todos nos hemos sentido abrumados y estresados con la situación. Por eso es que la Asociación Dental Mexicana, la Fundación ADM, IAP y la industria dental en México está impulsando un movimiento para hacernos sonreír de nuevo. Te invito a que formes parte. No perdamos ese ánimo que nos caracteriza y mostremos al mundo que aún tenemos razones para sonreír. Comparte como yo un video en tus redes sociales donde muestres lo que te hace feliz usando el hashtag Elige Sonreír. Recuerda que tu salud bucal es muy importante. No olvides que tu dentista es un especialista de la salud y su prioridad es cuidar de ti. Además, en estos momentos los consultorios y clínicas dentales han reforzado todas las medidas de sanitización para que estés cómodo y seguro al asistir a tu cita. Visítanos en www.eligesonreír.com. Sube tu video, usa el hashtag y sé parte de este movimiento, pero sobre todo, elige sonreír. Participa ya.
Smile. Well, Choose to Smile, it's an effort of Asociación Dental Mexicano and the dental industry represented by Amic Dental and some enterprises who decided to support this initiative, which will carry information to patients, to dentists, and to dental technicians. And tomorrow, this will be launched tomorrow. But the idea is that at the end of this program, you go into eligesonreír.com and go through all the website and you'll find valuable information for these times. But I'd like to introduce you to our guests and to thank them that you are the godfathers of this night program, because from today we'll be transmitting on nights, and these are 3 dentists who are good friends of mine, and I've known them throughout life. First of all, Dr. Elba Rosa Leiva, director of UNAM Dental School. Hello, Elba.
Hola,
how are
¿qué
you?
tal? Buenas noches, Jaime.
Hello, good night, good evening. I'm great.
Por la
Thank you for your invitation. No, you for being here with us. Dr. Aide Gómez Llanos Juárez, who is UABC in Tijuana, Universidad Autónoma of Baja California. Hello, Aide, how are you? Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your invitation. And also, my good friend of many battles in organized dentistry, Dr. Rolando Felice, the Dean of Dental School of Universidad Anáhuac Mayab. And I'm sorry, Ronaldo. Good evening and hello to you, Jaime. Thanks for being here.
Vamos a presentarles
I'd like to present you something really short from their resumes, but for sure all of you who are here know their work, and what's important is what they have to tell us. And the Doctora Elba Leiva, she's dentist from the Universidad Veracruzana, specialty in buccal pathology. She's a pediatric dentist, and she studies in buccal pathology. She's got acknowledgments from Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, founder of the Researchers in Dentistry, and from September 2018 she was designed or appointed as the government of UNAM from Dean of UNAM Dental School. Recently, President, she was been elected of the Mexican Federation of Dental Schools, FEMFEO, and she has written books, chapters, and manuals directed to dental students. Thank you for taking your time to be with us. Also, from the other, from Mexico City, we're traveling up to Tijuana in Baja California, 2 hours ahead of us. And Dr. Aide Gomez Llanos, professor of dental school, dental school in Tijuana from 2014 up to now, president of several theses of the doctorate and master's program in health sciences, specialty in endodontics and pediatric dentistry. She's part of dental sciences in UABC, and 189 approved at consolidation level. She's part of the academic staff since 2016, and she's got many accreditations and certificates with AEDO, organized, recognized by the Council for Bias Schools from 2014 until now, and certified by the Consejo Nacional de Odontología Infantil with number AC217-2022. Thank you, Aide, for your presence. And like I said, good friends from mine. And we went through many battles together when the certification started in Mexico production. I don't have a resume of the doctor, and I wouldn't like to say something that does not exist. Remember, this program is totally live. Production, please. Can I have this resume? Dr. Orlando González Peniche Marcin, specialty in periodontics and human sciences, current president and dean of dental school of Universidad Mayab. Now we're traveling up to Mérida, Yucatan, president of the faculty of dental schools, UFO, and founder of the Schools of Dentistry FEMFEO organization. He's got a national prize, Dr. Margarita Chernay Salazar, by the Council of the Health Ministry, president and ex-president of dental education, CONAEDO. I met Dr. Orlando Peniche 20 years ago when the certification process was launched. And time flies, Orlando, right? There's a voice here which is mute here, and I can't listen. Okay, let's go on. I'm sorry, but you know that this program lives through the support of many companies who believe in this, which are Colgate-Palmolive, who has been with us since the beginning, the Dental Commerce Group, Dentadec, COA, and Ideas Dentales Group. And let's go and watch a short video, and we'll
OrtoGuard es una línea completa especializada para quienes usan aparatos de ortodoncia. Cuenta con 3 productos de uso diario que ayudan a prevenir las lesiones de mancha blanca en los dientes. El enjuague bucal especializado Colgate OrtoGuard, con una fórmula revolucionaria en el segmento de los enjuagues bucales, le proporciona a los consumidores una efectividad terapéutica en el tratamiento ortodóntico y en pacientes de alto riesgo de caries. Llegamos a los espacios irregulares generados por la adhesión de la resina y el bracket, previniendo la desmineralización del esmalte hasta un 58%. Libre de alcohol, sabor agradable y de uso diario en personas de 6 años en adelante. El nuevo gel dental especializado Colgate OrtoGuard, con 5000 partes por millón de fluoruro de sodio, ideal para personas en tratamiento de ortodoncia y o con alto riesgo de caries. Revierte 3 veces más las lesiones de caries inicial y proporciona hasta 40% mayor reducción de caries contra una crema dental regular con fluoruro. Es seguro y se recomienda usarlo diariamente, una vez al día durante el tratamiento ortodóntico, indicado para personas de 6 años en adelante. Durante el tratamiento de ortodoncia, los cuidados de salud bucal exigen mayor atención. Los brackets y alambres ortodónticos pueden impedir una buena higiene bucal. Por eso Colgate ha creado el cepillo dental especializado Colgate OrtoGuard, con cerdas multinivel, indicado para quienes usan aparatos ortodónticos. Gracias a su forma en U, cubre toda la superficie del bracket, mejorando el efecto de limpieza en la encía, dientes, alambres y brackets. Las cerdas externas en forma de espiral eliminan la placa dental en la línea de la encía, proporcionando así una mejor sensación de limpieza en los tejidos bucales. Y a su vez, las cerdas internas auxilian en la limpieza alrededor de los brackets y alambres ortodónticos. Sus puntas de 0.01 milímetros pueden limpiar pequeños espacios, proporcionando una mejor limpieza de la superficie de los brackets y alambre. Colgate, siempre a la vanguardia del cuidado bucal, presentó Colgate Guard, la ciencia detrás de tu sonrisa.
Well, you might be asking yourselves why I have these guests tonight, and it's because now that some dentists have been getting back to work for maybe some days or a few hours a week into our offices, we have in front of us a challenge of doing things right. In dentistry, we've cared about PPE, masks, but this new disease that's all over the world, and that currently we know a bit more than when we started about it. I think this is one of the greatest challenges that dentistry has faced in the last 25, 30 years. And mid-80s, we had a different challenge, but I'm not going through this topic because Dr. Orlando will do. But now that you listeners, you're thinking on how you're going back to your offices, imagine that multiplied by many times. And in order to do it correctly in faculty, this has to be done with many measures. And these 3 doctors will give us a small taste of what they've been doing during the last months, precisely to write those protocols and those necessary guidelines for dental students to be back into their clinics in the future months to come. So Dr. Elba, please, why don't you tell us what you've prepared for tonight? Of course, yes, Rolando. Yes, Jaime, gladly. Since February, in our dental school at UNAM, we started working in regards with the situation that we were facing. And yes, looking about how COVID was behaving, especially in Europe and China, I want to tell you that really COVID-19 is a disease, is a problem, is a challenge at worldwide level. Dental community, therefore, should have a great effort to work together and jointly to generate guidelines that will aid us at a certain point to face this challenge, which is this pandemic. Next, please. Next slide. In this slide, I'm showing you 5 important steps from the university point of view, which we know as the safety guidelines. These guidelines in a dental school and faculty will not only be within the faculty field or facilities, but these guidelines should be established thinking since the students and academics and workers leave their houses and transport themselves to their workplace. So that's a big risk because we cannot control a population. In our university, we have 3,800 students, 900 academics, and 790 workers. So this means that it's a world of people. The images that you cannot see are showing how people get together in different moments since they get from university towards the university, in the university, and after they leave it, which is the students coming into the campus and leaving campus. So that's a great step. And us as dentists and as deans of dental schools, we cannot control. The second step is when students start transiting within the aisles of our faculties and facilities and institutions, which are known as common spaces. The third step, which should be considered as a safety guideline, are the clinical spaces where students will get together with assistants, nurses, students, academics, and a population which is a huge population. Then within the universities, we have areas which are called research areas, where students from dental school, from specialty students, and postgraduate students, and researchers work together. Then we have the recreational spaces, and an image that we have where it says dental school, which is number 5. We can see a congregation of students and workers and academics. When, for example, Puma's team were the champions a few years ago, all this is what we won't be able to do anymore. So please, next slide. What do we want? We want to transmit a clear message to the population. Number 1, when the patient or the person arrives to the office, they must always wear a mask. Inside the bus or their transportation, they have to be seated separately, as the guidelines tell, 2 meters away from each other. Also, what should we do as dentists when a patient arrives to our office? First of all, they must have an appointment, and we should have an auxiliary personnel which will, number 1, sanitize the area. Number 2, they should take their temperature. Number 3, with an oximeter, they should measure the saturation of the patient. We know that oxygen saturation should be greater than 95. 92 saturation, that means that there's a bad saturation and that there's a bad oxygenation. And that's one of the signs that we should take into consideration. We should also have sanitizing carpets, and patients should be isolated, separated in the waiting room. But first of all, we should take into consideration these preventive guidelines. Next. Next, please. When they get to their appointment, we have common areas. These areas should have one entrance and a different exit. This can be done in a university, not in an office, but in universities, this can be done. We should sanitize frequently all the surfaces, which are shared surfaces. This should be taken into consideration, and we should not be in closed areas with a great number of people. Next, please. Before receiving the patient, we should proceed to washing our hands. We should hand some sanitizing gel, and dress the proper PPE. This PPE, there's a controversy lately regarding up to what and type of PPE should be used. There's a great number of inhabitants who are offering these products, but we should establish for our population in dental schools what is safer for our students and our academics, as we all know, because we know it. Surgical mask N95, the overalls, disposable overalls, also the disposable gowns, the goggles, the use of shields, the disposable hats, and whatever we all know, or gloves. In these pictures, we can see what we're going to be able to do. On our left, the next, we can see these are brigades and campaigns done by our students, and there's a next now. In one of the in a high school, Justo Sierra High School. We won't be able to do this anymore. And we're showing these pictures to see how you should protect yourself during a dental appointment. The easiest way to protect yourself in dental school, up to the most complex, which is the use of buccal respirators and shields, and the use of gowns. Also, it's important to foresee how we are going to how the different types of cleanups before we start our appointment. We should sanitize and have protection barriers in each of our seats. We should control the patient's temperature. We should ask the patient to wash their hands and to use sanitizing gel. And the patient should use and rinse with hydropovidone. This is very important in regards with the activity that will be carried out by the patient. And the clinician will have to disinfect and sanitize the dental unit, and they should wear dental boots to the patient, like I said, and also the sanitizing carpet. They should, clinician should wear goggles too. During the procedure, within the clinical spaces, during procedures, we should use the ejector and high suction and gauzes to dry. We should avoid the use of water and steep and scaler. After, we should ask the patient to dispose of boots, and they should wash their hands again and use sanitizing gel. Again, without removing the PPE completely, the assistant should wash the instruments using gloves and transport these instruments in a container to sterilize them. Also, once that the procedure is over, if we do not have an ultrasound sterilizer, we should proceed to an instrument conventional washing and therefore sterilize the instruments with humid steam. After the procedure, this is very important, we should remove the PPE, our PPE, first we should remove our gloves, and the gown, the hat, the goggles, also the mask and the disposable boots and the internal gloves. We recommend, and it's also always recommended that the internal gloves we should carry out and that they should be sterilized with gel to wash the instruments. We should dispose all the PPE that had been in contact with saliva and blood in the containers, the special containers, which are red containers, and they're specific for risky PPE. And this should all be taken into the special containers. We should mention that the disinfection of all the working areas, not only the surfaces and floors within every patient, between patients, every patient should use a mask at every time, at every moment. Every patient must wear a mask. Another important thing that should be considered regarding dental schools and waiting rooms are the administrative and offices spaces, who should also have a 2 meter separation from every person, and we should keep only in working areas what's really indispensable. We should all use gloves and masks and use physical barriers. These barriers in dental schools and institutions as universities will be a great challenge, because putting these acrylic barriers between one unit and another, this will provoke that if we don't have it, we're going to separate one dental unit from the other. The waiting rooms, patients should stay in these areas, sitting down, and like I said, and isolated. Handicapped people should be supported by one relative. The rest of the people will not be able to come into the waiting room. That's what I recommend, and that's what I can tell you in short, and I prefer you to ask me what you consider what's really convenient. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, de veras.
Thank you.
Es increíble cómo nos llevaste.
It's incredible how you took us step by step within this through this new reality, which affects us and has a great impact on all of us. And we'll see this through the program. We have our second presentation with Dr. Gómez Llanos from UABC in Tijuana.
Adelante, doctora.
Please, Doctor. Again, thank you for your invitation to be here with great personalities like Dr. Ronaldo, Rolando, and Dr. Elba, which are leaders in important universities, which are an example for all of us. Last week, as part of the Federation of FEO, we had the opportunity that Dr. Elba has worked today. She has been working really hard in UNAM, and we are ready to start increasing what Dr. Elba has presented us and shown us with her presentation. And we are getting ready to a decade older spaces in our dental schools. What I'd like to say today is, what have we done with the pandemics and with this new change, not only to our dental schools, school, but to every faculties which are part of universities, in this case in UABC in Baja California, specifically in Tijuana. And what is the impact of this situation in our university? First of all, what we can say is that we have to reinvent ourselves in a very short time, because teaching continues online, and we have to go on. We are about to finish this cycle in UABC. Next slide, please. And something that's very important, and as Jaime said, we are from one point of the country to the other, from Tijuana to Mérida to Mexico City. Next slide. And how each one of the faculties, depending on their geographical situation, we have different challenges, and we have to rethink about the opportunities that we are having with this new practices. Tijuana, as a border, our clinics receive patients from the United States who are interested on our kind of service and our teaching services, and with some extras. And Tijuana is an endemic area of tuberculosis. TB and COVID is something different, is something that is unexpected, and we didn't have pretty much information about it. And we've been getting ready during this time to adequate according to the current situation in Tijuana. Next slide. As I said, we belong to the Tijuana campus. We have some units as our dental school in Mexicali and the campus in Valle de las Palmas, with different characteristics and features. We have public transportation for a study that we held a while ago. For transportation for a student, there's a great number, as Dr. Elba said, of our students must take public transportation to get our facilities, and we should have that mentality of changing some uses. You have to get with your uniform, and we have to wear our white gown. This is going to be different. We're going to have to adequate those spaces for students, that they can change their clothes and where they can remove their PPE in a special way. And the characteristics of dental school, specifically in Tijuana, is how can we evolve in these postgraduate programs which are held in our campus, and we have to act according to this. And what's important is that we have been working all this time. We are a faculty at a national level. We have created, we have looked at what's best for our community, and this is important, that should be transmitted to our students and our patients and to the population in general, because this disease with that can cause some kind of fear, and we have to think, what are we going to do, knowing that dentistry is a profession that is developed practically, and we have to practice with the patients. How do we act, or what have we been doing? Practically, we've been we have been online virtually to continue studying with our students. This situation has allowed us to think that our students have different features, and that many of them don't have a laptop, and many of them don't have internet. Many of them have to go to a small town where the conditions were not the most favorable. And something that I believe that this pandemic has taught us is that we must be empathic with our students and our people, and that information and is very important. And what they say in this case has kept information, ongoing information for all of us who are part of this community, and we all migrated to the Blackboard Ultra platform. I'm sorry, the internet is. And for many people, this has been something simple, but also we have to understand the exams will be held virtually. And we have been all together working, and also an investment is required, and this will be required for a good dental practice. An investment from all the universities, which is internet, our equipment, our facilities, and having this digital culture that has been developing within time, and now this just came to change ourselves to switch into a virtual reality. And in regards with how we work in our clinics and labs, I believe that all the dentists and our dental students at a certain point, we will have the subject of infection control or disease control. And this is something that's very important to remember, that our patients should be cared as potentially infectious. And this is how it has been managed in our school. Yes, now with COVID-19, we have to reinforce and change some situations, as Dr. Elba mentioned, and also that fear that can be caused. We've been using shield and goggles have been used for a long time already in our clinics. So it's only to increase what will make us feel safer in our faculty. The disposition of our clinics, having 8 units, will be easier to establish this healthy distancing, social distancing. And something that's very important is that we should understand that simulation will be a fundamental practice for our work and for our students. Many of the faculties and dental schools already have these facilities, and we have to think that probably we will be having more, and this does not reduce the importance of our teaching in dental schools, but simulation is an important part of teaching, and this is something that we should look forward. And I'm very optimistic that we will be successful in this, and this is very important to reinforce that this union between the different schools and dental faculties, that we should all work together as a team, and knowing what's happening around us, and to support each other and support all those practices which benefit all of us, which will benefit our students and benefit our patients. And I believe that the support and the synergy of dental schools will be a great deal. And our case, our waiting rooms, we have to work on them. How are we going to enter, and how we will exit them? We are getting ready for this new reality, and currently we already have, for those who have to be back to our buildings. Well, we will continue working throughout this time to be sure that we can work safely, and patients will be safe, and we have to contact our patients, and that change on how we will behave now. We are also looking for information and researching for evidence, and keeping in touch with our universities. We are getting ready to work on sanitizing all the clinical areas, not only those, but also the classrooms and the offices. We want to be safe, and we want to warranty our students and all the dental community and the necessary community that they will be developing their studies in safe areas. And just to wrap it up, the following slide, I believe, like I said, in UABC, we are Moose and Musa that Cimarron will always go to the hilltop. And yes, and that's the experience of COVID-19. We have to see the future, and we have to change. And this is not the first or the last time that we will have a challenge, a health challenging situation, and positive things will come out from this. Thank you. Aide, thank you. I believe that we have done a splendid job, and I really don't envy the number of the amount of work that you have now. But before going to Rolando, let's go and listen an important message from our sponsors.
Protege a tu clínica y a tus pacientes. Conoce la fórmula de O Radical de amplio espectro como desinfectante orgánico de superoxidación que elimina bacterias, virus y hongos desinfectando superficies. Desinfecta tu consultorio, equipo, sillones, instrumental quirúrgico, rotatorios y cucharillas. Además, no mancha y no guarda olor. Protégete y protégeme. O Radical, el mejor amigo en tu consultorio.
Muchas gracias. Rolando, pues ahora...
Rolando, it's your time, please.
Pues buenas noches a todos.
Good evening, everyone. Like Raquel says, I choose to smile because that's a great message. And also, I'd like to tell you that you should visit this website, surf it, and there's a great deal of information in there. It's a great website, and all the team which is promoting this platform, it's so helpful for all the dental community. Well, that's my message, because I think our smile opens many doors, and therefore I'd like to tell you that I'm honored to be in this panel together with Dr. Elba Rosa Leila, which is the Dean of Dental School of UNAM, and which is our FEMFEO president, also with Dr. Aide Gomez Llanos. We went through all the Mexican territory, and I'd like to express my acknowledgement to ADM and Genie in the Bottle. You've done a great work during the pandemic for continuous education. This has been moving for our dental professional, and my acknowledgement for you, for Dr. Manuel Martinez, president of ADM, for an ADM Foundation. You are extraordinary, and I acknowledge you for this invitation. I'd like to, I speak slowly, but I want to go as fast as I can, but I'd like to acknowledge all the professors and students, collaborators, authorities of Universidad Anáhuac Mayab, who are watching me currently. I'd like to say hello to all of them. And I send my regards. 17 years ago, 2003, I became dean, and to found this dental program. And I'd like to tell you that since I was a student in high school, I fell in love. I fell in love with a beautiful career, which is dentistry. That period of my life, once in high school, I had a clear idea that I come from a family of physicians and dentists, and I cannot say that this is not love at first sight. This has been going on for more than 50 years already, but there's something I'm still in love of dentistry, which is a beautiful profession. I have lived through privilege of living dentistry during the 60s. Everything what happened during that period of time up to you brilliantly spoke about Elba and Barbosa. And also, I'd like to say something for Asociación Dental Yucateca, my association in Mérida, for my mates of Fanfeo in 1990. At the end of the 1994, I was lucky to, with a part of deans, a group of deans to found this federation, which now is directed by my dearest friend, Dr. Elba. To my international fellows, friends, and also to the International Federation of Dental Schools and Faculties, CFO. To all my colleagues from this federation, I'd like to send my best regards. And I'd like to tell you that on June 19th, Friday next week, we will be having an online seminar, and we will listen to our many guests. I invite Dr. Elba and Dr. Aide, because we're going to listen to the International University of Catalonia, Dean Thomas Jenner and Dr. Antonio Castaño from Sevilla, who this Monday they opened their schools, and they already started working. All this that we have been working on lately and preparing ourselves, they already taking it into practice, and we're going to listen to their strengths and their issues with and everything that has been said by Dr. Elba and Dr. Aide. We will listen to them already in practice. You're invited. This will be in June 19 from 9 to 12 o'clock, 3 hours where we will be able to make many questions to them. Please, next slide. These photographs, I'd like to remind you that the faculty of UNAM, Dental School, they have a space, a beautiful space area, which I have visited 4 or 5 times already. And every time where I go there, I bring with myself beautiful souvenirs, because many of these chairs, as you can see, they probably look funny, but many of these dental chairs, I worked on these chairs. I enjoy that temple, which is a history of what we have been through. This museum of dentistry, which is in Museum Dr. Samuel Fastricht, which belongs, it's in the building of the National Palace in Mexico City, which is the Dental Palace, which is, it's a beautiful building downtown, which has this museum. Go visit it. You can find it online. Dr. Elba, I remember when Dr. Portilla, if I remember, From that time, that's when they started their donation. Dr. Fastlich, as a comment, I'd like to say that he's an orthodontist. He was born in 1902, but he was the Frida Kahlo's dentist. That's just a comment, that special comment, as an additional information. He was a very important person in Mexico. This next slide. This slide on your left. This is when the families came in. They were, you had your office and you write dentists, and people would be there in those chairs, which we see as part of that history. I worked on those chairs. This is how I can see our school, and this is part of history, because I worked for 30 years in Wadi. I was the dean in there for 2 periods, and this bracket, because that's how we call it, everything's in that museum. And it's poisonous. I don't know how to say it, the description of the cigarette. And during those times, the student, you came into the clinic with your cigarette, this patient was smoking too. That is something that's really unthinkable. That's something that's terrible now. We know what the cigarettes do. Also with COVID, smokers are pretty much more affected. But during those times, we all smoked. And dentistry, even in those times, was beautiful. And I always said that I confirm that dentistry, as we said, and we continue to say, is science and it's art. And we have a great pandemic now going on. Yes. But we're gonna go through it. We're going to be successful. Like I said, like Dr. Elba Rosa said, Dr. Aide said, we're all worried and concerned, working, carrying out our guidelines. And there's Feo has this beautiful document. In my school and my faculty also were working, following all the spaces, because we want to care for the safety of our patients and our students and ourselves and professors and academics, that we are certain that we work to accomplish all the necessary guidelines. But there's an observation. We have lived a history that I lived through that history. Remember, during the 80s, early 80s, we had AIDS. And I heard when the patients were afraid to come to the dentist because, well, we didn't know. It's not like today that it's transmitted by saliva or by a cough. No, that time they thought that they could touch it everywhere. Things weren't that clear. And it happens that during those times, changes occur. And here, one of the first ways I worked as a student, and I worked like that in many ways for a long time in my office. I was standing up. I wasn't sitting down. I was standing up with, I'm speaking about old times, like how can you work like that? You're working with a cigarette, and the patient sometimes took the cigarette and oh wait, please doctor, let me just give it a shot, and that's how it worked. And something that probably could be a scandal today, we work without gloves. You just wash your hands in front of the patient, not even for 30 seconds, just watch them, rinse them, and wash them in front of the patient so the patient can see you wash them. And now we speak about getting there, and you have your PPE protocol, and at that time you have your white coat, and we had this wonderful coat that were sold in the US. It was only used by very chic dentists, but we had the barco suits that were sold in Miami. We went to Miami and just buy them there. That was a beautiful time. And this was already a modern equipment, but you were always standing up. I'm going to show you this picture. That person that's standing there, that's me. Maybe in 1970, that's my first office. My chair, my bracket. I had my first high-speed equipment. And now that you say, like Dr. Elba said, the brigades, we're not going to have those brigades anymore. Now we go to all these brigades, and we had our own protocols for that. I'm in a brigade over there. Obviously, you're going to see a difference regarding my persona and my hair, for example. I had long hair, almost on my forehead, and I washed my hands and standing up, and that's how years went by. Well, with that history, that's during the times of AIDS, and that's when circumstances appeared. Like, for example, the official Mexican law, when these documents were released, they made great changes on our profession. We're walking towards a professional area, unrecognizable area that the profession has, the health profession, the dentistry has. This science and art and profession is, like Dr. Eduardo Espinosa says, who's the dean of the director of our clinic. We have a clinic in our hospital. It's not in our campus necessarily. It's a hospital in the University of Managua. That's where he is working. And it's our dental clinic. Rolando, the dental offices in our clinic. Let's think that it's going to be like an OR. He's not a dentist. He's a surgeon. He's a physician. He comes from a hospital, from our public hospitals, and we're a step beyond that, because during that time, the law, the first version, which is in 1994. There have been several modifications to the law, but that's how we're contemplating or foreseeing the guidelines and to carry out that safety to our patients. We don't want anyone to pass COVID in our offices or an educational institution. And I have something here. Disease, the law for disease prevention and control, which was in 2016 and 2015, and the first case of AIDS was reported later in the comments, but it seems that it was reported in 1981 in the United States. I listened to Jaime in some of his lectures when they said that dentists, AIDS, etc. But it happens that there was one dentist which reported who also caught AIDS or passed it to several people. He did not get it in his office, he got it from a different situation. So I had this proposal, and we saw the guidelines for what we're trying to work and towards our facilities. And also I'd like to say hello to the Council of CONAEDO. I am coordinating now CONAEDO, and we have planned, if I fail, a reunion that also within the indicators for accreditation processes, many of these protocols will be included. So within all this framework, protocols to carry out a safe practice, I'd like to highlight this point that every institution, as we are already carrying out, they should establish their own biosecurity committee where you can have an authority from the faculty, and student representatives and workers and academics and dean and coordinators. But this group will have specific functions. We're going to need a team, like we say. We have to establish our guidelines and biosecurity strategies. I don't know how much time do I have. We have to train. There's another thing. We also need to train the people involved, professors, students, employees. Everybody has to be trained. Who will design this training? Well, we already have a good offer from the Federation, from FEO, and the supervision. We also need to have this well established. We already have a constitution for this. Next slide, please. With this is the document, because it's important. We are a face for our society in every one of our institutions. This is where we are. We have this surveillance process, and we will take every necessary step. And this is the proposal that I have for all of you. And lastly, I have this photograph because I love this. And when we say us as dentists, she is our patron. We have the patron of the engineers or a patron for every profession. But we have a saint, which is Saint Apollonia. So we always pray to her, and we celebrate on February 9. We celebrate her, and we celebrate dentistry in Mexico. She's a saint that she was tortured, and they tore her teeth from her. So she's probably the saint of the patient, because she's the saint of us dentists. And I always pray to her to guide our acts, to guide our thoughts, and to guide our hands and our virtue and our behavior, so that we all together, we can succeed, and that we have a great strength of our beautiful profession. Like I said, I'm still in love with it, and I'm sure that with our current situation, we will have a greater strength, like it happened with influenza and other diseases. And I'd like to invite young people that aspire to become dentists. Yes, do it without any fear, with the safety that you will be happy and that you will enjoy your profession. So to all of you, I'd like to say hello from Mérida, which is a beautiful city, and from Universidad Anáhuac, Mayas. I've been here for the last 17 years. and I am happy to work in it. Thank you, Rolando, with that beautiful speech, which has 50 years of profession. Let's go fastly to a video, and we have many questions for you guys. I think we have one record of questions. Let's have
La línea Guard también ofrece soluciones para quien presenta problemas en las encías. El ya conocido enjuague bucal Colgate PerioGuard con clorhexidina al 0.12% ayuda a controlar el nivel de bacterias presentes en boca. Debido a su amplio espectro bactericida, reduce hasta un 99% las bacterias bucales, reduce en un 48% el sangrado gingival y hasta en un 54% la placa bacteriana. No contiene alcohol, tiene un sabor agradable a menta, fácil de utilizar y con altísimos estándares de calidad y validación científica que lo distinguen de otras clorhexidinas. Al enjuague Colgate PerioGuard se le unen dos nuevos productos que complementan y ayudan al tratamiento de las personas con problemas de encías. La nueva crema dental especializada Colgate PerioGuard con una fórmula a base de zinc que garantiza una acción antibacteriana prolongada que ayuda a prevenir la inflamación de las encías, la formación de placa y sarro dental. Ayuda a prevenir el sangrado gingival hasta en un 66.7%. Puede ser utilizada de forma diaria y prolongada, ya que su principal ingrediente activo se encuentra de forma natural en el cuerpo humano. Y por último, el nuevo cepillo dental especializado Colgate PerioGuard, de cabeza compacta, mango ergonómico antideslizante y con exclusivas cerdas cónicas Perisoft ultra suaves con puntas de filamentos microfinos, garantizan la eliminación profunda y eficiente de la placa bacteriana sin dañar las encías. Gracias a su cabeza con anatomía diamantada y componente de caucho, evita traumatismos durante el cepillado. Colgate, siempre a la vanguardia del cuidado bucal, presentó Colgate Guard, la ciencia detrás de tu sonrisa.
Sí, pero sí es la Justo Sierra. Bueno. De hecho, la foto que está al fondo es Justo Sierra.
Pues ya estamos aquí de regreso.
So we're back.
No sé ni por dónde empezar.
I don't know where to start from. Just one something I would like to tell you. Samantha, who's here with us translating all these programs remain recorded on the web. The Spanish version remains in Facebook, and in English they remain in YouTube, and translations next week, which will be the English version. Now we're going to have the translation in Spanish in Facebook, and the original version will be in YouTube. YouTube Live may take up to 10 hours to upload because it's a very heavy file, but YouTube uploads it. It's not up to us. First of all, I'd like to thank you because I believe that every lecture complemented the other. So you speak about gowns, if they should be disposable or if they could be washable. I'd like to concentrate on whatever has to do with our with today's subject. There are many questions from students if the semester will finish longer. Every school will know how to finish their semester, but let's go. Let's have short answers to finish this fastly. As UNAM, how are things going at school regarding the semester? We listen to you perfectly, yes. What happens is I have a different computer and I'm using a tablet now. Our dean, 2 months ago, he got us together to all of us as faculty members, and we have a new calendar moving schedule in order to conclude the semester. The concrete answer is, as Dr. Aide said, all the subjects are held online and virtually, and the exams will be through will be held virtually, and we will have clinical essays too, where we all have the platform so students can conclude their semester in June, the most by the end of July. And any idea of, I know it's up to every city and to every local situation. Nationally, we're in red situation, but in some places they have a different situation. But do you have any idea of when next semester will start? Yeah, the program period will be, it's only for schooling. We have programmed, we have a meeting tomorrow, is September 22nd. That's when schooling starts up to now. These things could change from one day to the other, right? Yes, these things can change. There's an analysis in our university in regards to the timing that was needed and the adjustments that could be made. And that's what we're working on currently. Aide, something about your university, your current situation regarding UABC? Yes, following the instructions of the health ministry, we decided to do something to, it will happen up to August, where students who didn't have, for example, the ways to get online during this time, or who did not have a computer, well, this affects the family, and they will have the opportunity to have this period in August to whatever has to do with academics, not clinics. This period, we will be preparing ourselves for to start the following semester, and this will start according to the UABC calendar, which will be September 14th. And Rolando, in your case, these are pretty similar dates as the other two universities. We will conclude, we have different periods. We conclude our semester, we just concluded our semester. Recently, we had academic online classes and simulation classes through the device-based platform, Blackboard platform. And in regards with the theoretical and academics, we know that practical part is closed, but we have a recovery program of those practices, which will be seen in different periods, but the beginning of the semester, it's programmed for August 10th. But there's several strategies of our university on how we are preparing the classrooms for professors to carry out lessons. That one part of the classroom are in classroom, and the other part will be online at their homes. But due to the technology of the classroom, some students will be at home and others will be in the classroom. That's what we're working now. But yes, like Dr. Elba and Dr. Aide said, regarding the clinics, not all students will be together in clinics. Everything will be under control with social distancing, but we have to wait for authorization to start for the beginning of next semester. On next Monday, yesterday, we started the reopening of certain businesses in the country, but everything with social distancing. You answered two questions: the clinics, which is solved with less students. Interesting question. Coming up next, will this be the opportunity for universities to have less restorative treatments and have more preventive treatments, less use of high-speed devices, and a greater use of fluoride, and regarding, for example, pediatric patients. But this is probably an opportunity for this. Whoever wants to answer this question. I believe that minimally invasive dentistry is it's a current subject, and it's time to see this, and many people still don't want to see it, but it's very clear that unfortunately that dental health in Mexico is still not the best in the population, and many pediatric dentistry could speak about varnish, but we have to think about to increase this kind of new practices, but still with it's just a certain percentage of restorative dentistry up until when we can all reach preventive practices the most, and try to avoid as much as we can the high-speed devices. Everyone's afraid of it anyway. So we can find different alternatives, but yes, we should be creative. And I think we still have a great population that requires certain restorative and invasive treatments. This is an opportunity, right? Yes, it is. Maybe to increase these good practices, which are minimally invasive. I'd like to say that, Jaime, can I just say, I'm just, it's your time. I agree with Dr. Aide, but also I consider that we should retake and take this part of dentistry, which is minimally invasive, which can become a great part of the future dentist. I am a pathologist. I'm a pediatric dentistry, but I'm mostly a pathologist. But we should call ourselves buccal physicians. We are doctors too. We are physicians, and we should see the mouth as an integral part of the organism of the individual. And we are working in an area currently. We are getting into medical sciences to understand the pandemics of COVID-19, and previously we were H1N1, but we have to change our mentality about dentistry. That would be my comment. Rolando, don't you think that dentists know more about medical sciences than physicians know about dentistry? And I do agree with that. Yes, I think dentists, we are professionals, creative professionals. We have always, but really we have gone through many situations due to our own creativity of our profession. Currently, we're speaking about minimally invasive practices. But yes, we have always been very creative. We've invented, for example, the rubber dam, working with it, and many things that have come up with from our profession has come from our creativity. But I'd like to especially speak about what Dr. Barrosa said. I do agree 150% with her. I don't know if I can say 150%, but I'd like to say that. But not, I'll say 200%. I do agree. During these times, this is when I said, this is a new position of dentistry regarding this unfortunate situation of this new pandemic. And, but yes, the concept of dental professional is a medical concept. For example, like how do we say, I'm going to visit the ophthalmologist, I'm going to see the ophthalmologist, the eye doctor, the nose doctor, or no, he's a physician. The dentist. Oh, like I say, I love my profession. Dentist, being a dentist is my pride. I'm proud. It's my life. Yes, but I believe that what Dr. Elba Rosa just said it's a key. It's a key word. There are many professions out there. For example, stomatologists or dental surgeon, odontologist. We ourselves, Yanahuac, we are already medical dentists. Why? Because once someone told me, as a dentist, are you a physician? Yes, we are. Because if you go to internet, doctor, physician, what does it mean? Well, a health professional. So therefore, they have always called us, oh, you're a dentist. They don't call you a doctor. Oh, I'm proudly a dentist, but I'm also a health professional. There's one question for the three of you. Among doctors, you always argue who the nose belongs to. Who should take care of the nose doctor or the oral maxillofacial surgeon? If you want to breathe correctly, go to a nose doctor. If you want to have a good nose, a beautiful nose, so that was my dad's opinion. If you want to breathe perfectly, go to a nose doctor. If you want to look great, just go to a plastic surgeon. But nobody thought about that oral surgeons. Like the Mexican astronaut came from the space transporter and said, and the journalist asked him, well, every time I wanted to touch an instrument or a key, they would slap on my hand. But that's how medical sciences think about us dentists. Nobody wants that. They don't want to touch saliva or other fluids. But I'm only provoking you. Yes. Months ago, I had a problem with my tonsils, my throat problem. So I went to the doctor and I went to ABC hospital. So I went to this hospital and the doctor tells me, he was very nice to me. He tells me, open your mouth. I open my mouth. He didn't check my teeth or my tongue. He went directly to my pharynx. And he tells me, oh, are you a dentist, right? Yes, I'm a dentist. And I tell them, you know something, I believe that dentistry should have a subject which is called odontology, and medical doctors should have a subject in school which is dental biology. Why? Because you don't know about anything about the mouth, and I don't know anything about the pharynx. And that is a terrible thing to me. So I will propose the following year, I will propose this kind of subject in dental school. You're so right. We have many questions. I will avoid all the questions which are asking about the best shield, the best mask. The people who choose eligesonreír.com, you can go there, including dental labs. You will see the process and the respect that you should have on how to send the models. And sometimes dentists takes the impression and does not rinse it and but these impressions should have a sanitizing process. At a certain point, we could probably be sending viruses or bacteria. But all these topics are there. We have important topics. My WhatsApp has been ringing and ringing. For example, they speak about if you will be reducing the entrance for future generations. Before you answer to this question, can you This is the temporary measures. We don't know how many months this will last. When this pandemic becomes epidemics, they will exist as influenza, or before there's a vaccine that will not cause secondary effects.
Pero ustedes sí creen que esto va a afectar en el número de inscritos.
Do you? That question is asked, has been asked like 8 times.
Bueno, yo Aide contesta.
Aide, please answer that. Specific case. I know that every faculty, every institution has their own guidelines and their number of students that will be allowed. Our university up to now, we're not thinking about reducing the number of students coming into our facilities. It's just, we're just thinking how we are going to work in the future with all our students and the future students while we have this pandemic around. And that's why I spoke about online classes and having different schedules in order to reduce the number of students in our building. But this implying a number, reduction in the number of students, no, I don't think so.
Miren, aquí hay otra pregunta también.
We have a question also. You spoke about all the PPE guidelines for students, disposable suits, but normally universities, a student only cares for one patient a day. The question is, which will be the guidelines for instructors? I don't know if Rolando or Eva would like to answer that question. The instructor should she change the suit every time, or how should they manage their suits? I'm sure you've spoken about this many times.
Sí.
Yes. I don't know.
Sí, se está considerando.
We are considering, or all the PPE are being considered for students, for instructors, for classrooms, and for workers and assistants. These are being considered for everyone. And I'd like to add something. When the program is over, I have a document in Word about the PPE that we're proposing, including a mask and specifications and gloves, what kind of gloves. I can send you this, Jaime, so you can send it to everyone. All the articles and documents will be uploaded in 3 different platforms: Vida Academia, which is our sponsor for these programs, in ADM, and at Elige Sonreír website. So you can download, there's a checklist, which is a great checklist, where the dentist, many times, I am the coordinator, I want to say this, when you get into an airplane, whatever makes you feel safe is that we all know that the pilots have a checklist, and the airplane will not leave until that checklist is complete. Everything has been checked, and they have to check every single point. And there are many things that we do in our offices that patients do not see, and PPE. Many students grew up with all those barriers, and it's, working with a mask is something so ordinary for them. But sometimes all these materials which are used to touch the X-ray or the lamps, that have to be changed from one patient to the other, dental chair. This would all seem that it's just, come and take care of my tooth. But there's a greater preparation for all this because we have HIV, we have hepatitis B, we had all these sanitizing procedures for bloodborne diseases. But we have this great change, which is the airborne diseases. We have to sanitize our office, the air of our office, the corners of our offices, which were not necessarily designed for this kind of situations. And what I like from dentistry is that we keep thinking that up to many false negatives of tests which are helpful for serologic situations. Maybe the patient already has antibodies that can be donated to another patient, but due to the lack of deciding who is treated and who is not, like during the HIV situation, we should all treat our patients as if they all had COVID-19, using the suit and using disposable suit over it. Everything which is not part of the university is important, and that checklist will make the patient to listen 15 or 20 steps that we have to carry out before he gets into that chair. Not only taking their temperature or cleaning their shoes. Yes, Elvin wants to say something. Yes, I'm sorry. But listen, in every university of the country, there are many universities in other countries. We see students with their surgical gown. Is this correct or not? They go to the cafeteria and they go through the restroom. They go to other areas. They go to the bus. This cannot be done anymore. From now on, we will not allow this anymore. When did we fall into that part when everyone with their scrubs could go anywhere? This cannot be happening anymore, because the students carries everything to the clinics. And if they go to public transportation, this is worse. What we have to do, and this is when I'm wrapping it up, we have to take care of us. We have to carry out all this PPE guidelines, which will benefit ourselves. We have to change from now on. Very important details nowadays, some cities, people are a bit anxious about this situation with the lockdown, and they attack people that on the streets are probably just walking with wearing the scrubs. In our times, it was very an elegant thing to go out with your white suit everywhere, and you would dress up like that. Now would be so chic, but not anymore.
No, sí, reforzando lo que comenta la doctora Barrosa, ya esa situación.
That situation is different now. You won't be able to be in the garden with your scrubs or coming back from the bus like I did during those romantic times when I was a student, when I was using my barco suit, when I came from my house, got into my car. That protocol should not exist anymore. Now you'll have to change clothes from your street clothes into a scrub. So, and your scrubs, you have to change in order to get into the clinical area. That will be a strength, not only for this coronavirus times, but also for a repositioning, a change, and a change of category of our dental profession deserves. We deserve that substantial change, and it will start from our universities, and this will go to the other professional fields. Because we do not only carry COVID, we also carry bacteria or any other thing to our offices. Okay, Aide, one last comment that which you would like to make is, like I said, it's already 10:33 p.m. in Mexico City. So we've been having a great audience tonight, and your students love you, but also there's a great need to listen about these topics.
Si quieres hacer un último
Just one more comment, last comment, please. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity in our universities, and whatever we can do to improve our situation. And we all have the same conclusion. Things are going to change. Many things are going to change, but these are positive things, which will position us as like what we are, health professionals. And we will be successful with this situation. We will get used to the new normality, and we will all work safely, remembering what we always wanted. Every patient is potentially infectious, and we should not fear that. We should be prepared for that during our professional exercise. I believe that we have many questions, unanswered questions, and maybe in the future we will answer them. And when all this is part of a new culture, of a new routine, maybe we can get together and talk about the impacts of all these changes and what we should learn from a situation like this, which got us turning around to another place. And like it was always told, spoken about this in movies, but really this is something unique. Like I said, this is so crazy that I would say that at the beginning, but now like humans say, well, now it happens that it's something that will help us to grow, to improve, to these challenges have always helped us to have new changes, not because we're just resilient, but also because dentistry has used technology, disruption. This has all helped us to be successful with a personal benefit and benefit for our patients, and to improve the quality of our treatments for our patients, which are the ones who should be important for us. And we have achieved. I'd like to acknowledge the participants, COA International, Colgate-Palmolive Mexico, Dentadec, Ideas Dentales Group. And I'd also like to thank the presence of Dr. Elba Rosa Leiva Huerta from UNAM University, Aide Gomez Llanos, Dr. Aide Gomez Llanos from UABC Tijuana, and Dr. Rolando González Peniche Marci from Universidad de Anáhuac Mayab, and mostly to our great friends from Amic Dental, the great team of dentistry. We work all together. I'd like to also acknowledge one person, which you can't see her, a great person, which you can't see her on the screen, but she's working in a different channel that we have for today, her English version in YouTube Live. Thank you, Samantha, Dr. Samantha Arispe, for your disposition of helping us. She's part of ADM Foundation. Thank you, Samantha. And thanks to all of you. I'd like to invite you. There are several programs this week. Tomorrow we have a special program to launch the technical dental technician part, which is Elige Sonreír. Thursday, please don't miss it, and IPC platform. We will be speaking about the experience of dentists who are already working and who are already facing the new reality, working with the suits, changing the mask, many things that are not part of our routine. And next week, we have Genie in the Bottle, a new edition. We will have deans of the University of Nevada in Las Vegas, and we will have the dean of University of Iowa. And unfortunately, the Temple University just canceled last minute and we invited the director of the postgraduate dental sector, which will be next week with us. But I remind you that when we have it in Spanish, it will be at 9 o'clock, and in English, it will be at 7 o'clock Central Time. Take good care of yourselves. Thanks for being here. And today, our program will be finishing at 10:39 p.m. Central Time. To all our friends, take care. Hasta la vista.
Si te lavas bien las manos,